Alright, Shalom. All praises Yahweh, Hashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors unto the elders.
Yeah, apostles, bro.
Apostle and elders, bro.
Done.
To throw that in there, you know.
This is a document. I'm just going to read it. It's from the Burning Platform, I believe.
You have to read a bit louder, bro.
It says, when the Ebola vaccine becomes mandatory, will you get it or go to jail? It also says, 3 things I probably should have known but didn't. The CDC, NIH, and Bill Gates own the patents to the Ebola virus. Number 2,
I mean, on that point there, man, the CDC, the Center for Disease Control and all that, these all hubs of what they're saying are the people that are trying to stop these diseases. These are the people creating these diseases, man. And when they just make these diseases, just like the AIDS, they got the cure for AIDS, and they had the patent for that under the US Special Virus Program, man. It's just to say Esau likes to do these trickeries, and a lot of these diseases, you got natural cures for these things, man. The herbs out of the earth, like the Lord said.
Well, as well, and a lot of these diseases, the viruses, they create a race specific, man. Yeah. They use them as weapons against certain races of people, man. And the primary target for the so-called white man is the Negroes, man. That's what he really wants to get rid of. The undesirables on the earth are the so-called Negroes and any other low-level peons out here, man. But you know, that's what it's being geared to, and that martial law through this outbreak of Ebola, man. That's when they're gonna start making you take the vaccines and shit. Okay, if you don't take it, then you're gonna be treated as a threat. We see many movies in that when, you know, there's a contagion going about, that you get shot down, man, regardless of whether or not you're cool or not. Okay?
Number 2, Executive Order 13295, passed by George W. Bush in April 2003, allows for the apprehension, detention or conditional release of individuals to prevent the introduction, transmission or spread of suspected communicable diseases.
That's right. Read it again for me.
Allows for the apprehension, detention or conditional release of individuals to prevent the introduction, transmission or spread of suspected communicable diseases.
That's that detention, right? When they're detaining, they're trying to detain the disease and all that. So basically what they're going to do with these things is they're going to release the virus, which they've already got killing, like death tolls up to like, what, 2,000 or something like that.
Officially, it's 3,000 at the moment.
Right,
unofficially, it's more.
Which they've targeted that down where Jakes are. Because that West Coast, Gold Coast, there's a lot of Jakes down there, man. You know, they've race specifically targeted them. And there's actually Ebola website set up where it's just for Ebola updates, and they talk about the updates for the Ebola, what laws or, you know, whatever's in question and whatever action they're going to take to quarantine or for the prevention or whatever, martial law, basically. And this is order out of chaos, which is on the back of that dollar bill. Order out of chaos. I can't remember the way you say it.
Order out of chaos.
Order out of chaos. Order out of chaos, man. That's right. Problem, reaction, solution, like that nut job David Icke says. That crackpot, man.
So how it's going down there in Sierra Leone and Liberia and that's what will eventually happen in the UK and the US and that. They're already being shot up in their houses, man, back quarantine. Okay, and being forced out of their homes to be taken to a CDC center or a concentration camp. Okay, bluntly put. Okay, a death camp. Where they're not being fed. Okay, they're being treated as the Walking Dead. Okay, so there's no need for them. Okay, they're just to die.
That's it. 2 million of them. I think there was one big ghetto and they had the people there, and you see where one dude got bust up, his leg got, because they basically they're lined up and the police are there with guns like, look man, you can't leave. And then I believe it was in Germany, one woman or one of them countries, Germany, they had to quarantine the whole job center, man.
It was about 400 of them in the quarantine.
In the job center, man, just in case. So, hey, when it really gets hot, boy,
Well, even with that bubonic black plague thing that said the quarantine, like, ridiculous amount in China, man. Like a ridiculous amount, a whole city or some shit like that in China, the quarantine. So also it's a sign of them times, man.
Yeah, man. Also, what was I gonna say? Yeah, man. Job 9:24 says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, and at the end of the day, this is talking about George W. Bush. Who is the other guy?
And I think Obama just amended it so that anyone that shows any symptoms, which is coughing or sneezing, you can be detained.
George W. Bush, Bill Gates, and all these top elites, multi-billionaires and so forth. These guys, they're part of the evil people, man. The earth's given in hand into, right? So looking back in history, when you look at Pharaoh, when the plagues hit Pharaoh and all Pharaoh's guys and all these things, Pharaoh still didn't want to let the Most High's people go. So the Pharaoh on this side, he's looking at it like, look, if I can get these people to take the chip, I can make these people submit themselves through virus and diseases,
warfare,
and they take note about the ancient world, man. They ain't like these average guys today, man. They actually think these things through.
These are learned
and
guys,
to get
they
people
know
to
what
accept captivity is through disease
or famine,
Or
because Joseph, the people sold themselves into slavery to Pharaoh because they didn't have no bread, man. Famine. Man.
I mean, they learn a lot of things, man, but the one main thing they forgot to learn, man, is not to go against the Most High, man. But that's why that shit happened in the first place, man.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like the whole birth certificate thing, man. That shit, like you got the maritime law, where they're basically treating you as a piece of stock, a piece of property. You know, you got your birth certificate, but they're saying they own you, man. And that chip is gonna be that brand, that main brand. Like when you brand your slaves, that chip is gonna be that brand, man. The mark, you know, they set a mark on them, the mark of the beast, man. What we're talking about. You know that you can't buy or sell. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. 'Cause when the Most High, anything the Most High does, Esau wants to copy. You know, Satan wants to mimic it. So when we went into captivity, we had to look for salvation, right? So Esau wants to be that guy that the public look up to for salvation, whether it be for a vaccine, whether it be for food, water, anything. And mainly, they're gonna even going further back, looking at Eve. All of the men are gonna follow suit with their women, because their women are gonna be suffering. So they're gonna be looking at, look, oh man, I'm gonna do what my woman says right now because I just want her to, you know, get off my back. And they're gonna take the chip because their woman wants them to, man. And that's why the scripture says, from the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die, man. And that's what our people on the side, which are the 2/3 of the nation of Israel, are gonna die from, man. The woman.
Or their children. They're gonna be scared. They think the children are gonna drop dead, or they're gonna starve to death, so they're gonna go to the white man. But the white man's gonna confiscate. They got all the executive orders. They're gonna confiscate all the food and the water, and they're gonna control all the resources, basically, man.
And exactly, and that's what the woman's gonna reply. The serpent came to me with subtlety. You know. Executive. No, I haven't read that one. This is number 3. Executive Order 13603 states that Americans in the healthy zones will be conscripted for both military duties and civilian work brigades.
Slavery.
And will not be paid. In other words, slavery will have re-emerged inside of the United States.
Alright, so you say the home of the free, land of the brave. Oh, it's the home of the slaves, man. Still, United Snakes of America, man. And America was built off slavery, and that's how they're trying to cap it up. You know, you see America, man. They got all them retina, they got the full body scans at them airports and shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, TSA and all that. You know, roping up people and shit. full body scans, man. That's a violation of your human rights, man. At the end of the day.
Oh, and if I could say this real quick, you watched that movie Total Recall. In that film, you had the whole terrorist thing going on, and you had the naked body scanners, and there was a woman in the movie with 3 breasts.
Oh yeah.
And then there's a woman that just come out the other day with 3 breasts.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And they were always trying to control the oxygen. And the people had to go to the guy to get oxygen.
These people were deaded out there, outside of there. That's true. Couldn't breathe and shit.
And the scriptures say the wicked are estranged from the womb, born speaking lies. Now I can't remember the full movie, but at some point, didn't the glass break in Total Recall and the people could breathe?
Yeah, basically there was a machine that was going to release oxygen anyway. So the scarcity was artificial, and they knew about it. Like they knew. And they had a chip in that film too, where they were tracking him with a chip in his nose. And how he escaped them was taking the chip out of his nose, because that's how they were tracking him, and he was meant to be a terrorist.
You say it was in his head, man.
Yeah, it was in his head.
You say it was in his head, man. You had to get it out.
Yeah, they're showing you, man, the chip and all that is all part of their plans, man. But them mans that write those sci-fis, they're in the know. They were basically prophesying on the left-hand side of the future they want.
Yeah. Through their human
They know the elite's dreams, man. Whether through media is how everyone's gonna see it.
So all them people that vote and think their voice matters and they have rights, the same person that give you your rights is the so-called white man, which is the devil, man. And we know who he is and we know what he looks like, man. And he can't. Everything he does just shows what he really is. The devil. As soon as these people take the chip, that's when they're gonna realize that they've been double-crossed.
Slave.
Just wanted to get this, man. This is
a lot of them are just gonna be happy to be eaten, man.
This is Isaiah 10 verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. Okay, all these executive orders and all these other law enforcers that are going on, man, are there to enslave the people, man. Okay, and it's to cause grievousness upon the people. Okay, because they're going to make it mandatory. I mean, there's been a lot of US companies trying to take hold of the NHS here in the UK for health services, right? Okay, that whole mandatory chip thing, that's going to be part of this society too at some point, man.
Well, they already can. According to emergency powers in the UK, they can do whatever they want. Basically, in an emergency, the so-called white man has given himself the power to do whatever the fuck he likes. That's it. In a crisis, he can do what he likes. He can make you take the chip or put you to death, and no one ain't gonna be able to say shit, man. Because if you try, it tells you in the Civil Contingencies Act that any assemblies of people which have not been sanctioned, you are going to be arrested and quarantined as well. So basically, anyone that's like, well, we want to protest about the vaccines, we want to protest about the government getting dictatorship powers, summary executions. Well, guess what? You're going to be summary executed, like in Equilibrium. You're going to be taken, you're going to be executed, because you're going to be considered a terrorist according to the EU legislation, which declares a terrorist as anyone who is a political dissident. And that's why David Cameron said that if in the UN speech, he said basically if you believe in the conspiracy theories, you're a non-violent terrorist, man. So basically if you believe that Ebola is made in a laboratory, you're a fucking terrorist, man. And guess what? That's punishable by death.
That's it.
See, basically Esau's is setting up a way where he could just put you to death for say so. Or you basically my way or the highway, you know? No choice. Death or, you know, whatever life they give you.
He has the power to enforce it. You know, he's got the upper hand with it. No one here in the UK is allowed to roll with any guns, no knives, no nothing like that. Okay, that's why they want to take them guns in there in the US, man. To leave them defenseless. Okay, but here in the UK, man, people are defenseless, man. You know? People here in the UK are defenseless. So when the government rolls up on them, man, it's a straight surrender.
Let me read this. How Ebola will irreversibly transform America. In the face of an Ebola outbreak, the government should be deploying the military at all border entry points and in airports for the purpose of establishing quarantine zones for passengers suspected of exposure to the Ebola virus.
Any little way that they can get in martial law is what they're going to do. They already just said that this country's on the highest terror alert right now, and they've distributed more police in places of interest than usual. Like they got them at the airports. There's more of them at the airports. There's more of them at the at your train stations, your tram stations, your transportation systems stations. They've deployed more troops there, man, and they always do that in terms of a high alert. And the viruses are part of that. And that's a major way to bring this in via this Ebola virus, because this virus has got about a 90% death kill rate, man. You know, they got the AIDS and all that, but this one has got a high goddamn death rate. So when this shit contagious, highly contagious, if that shit goes airborne, so if they unleash this shit on a major way, it's already unleashed, but when this shit starts to spread out like that, you're damn right that people are going to want these vaccines.
Oh, Nate. Oh, sorry, Salakia. Nate said, oh, you got a lot of people now that are against taking vaccines. How the hell are they going to get everyone to take a chip? Well, Nate, a lot of them people that are against taking vaccines, guess what? When they see their next door neighbor melting, when it's real, like it's not going to be a flu vaccine. Because the flu, you might say, I don't want to take a flu vaccine, because if you get the flu, when it's real and you're like, whoa, maybe if I take this vaccine, maybe I won't get it, they're going to think twice, man.
They're going to take it.
They're going to think twice, man.
These people are based off faith. These women out here, they get a little ailment, they got a little lump, a little cyst, a little sputter, a little backache, straight to the doctors. Fucking pills, 4 antihistamines, 4 of them a day, fucking up your shit, getting headaches and shit. These people ain't based on faith, so when their next door neighbor is crippled, his ass is getting broken the fuck down. Guarantee that these people are going to be running for them vaccines, man. Desperation.
Just give it a try.
Yeah. Because you ain't got faith, man. You're desperate in times like that.
They ain't got the die-hard mentality of, look, man, I'm going to drop dead. Because that Ebola virus, that's got the fucking capabilities of fucking mutating people, making them look like zombies, man. They're goddamn, half of their neck, you can see inside their neck, their tongue swelling on blood, their insides start bleeding and shit, man. You know, if a guy is fully infected with this shit, he's gonna come to you, he's gonna be looking like a zombie, man. That's why I heard they were shooting.
Well, you're gonna treat him like one.
Well, yeah, exactly.
If you think a guy's got Ebola and his sweat can get on you, you ain't, back up. Kill a guy, man. Can't get near you.
Well, he's gonna be deteriorating. You gonna want that fucked up and shit.
Hey, they show you in that film. You know the one with Mark Wahlberg, where people were committing suicide. They were catching something, committing suicide, and then they were on the run. The happening. And they walked up to this house, and then the house was all boarded up, and they were like wondering if anyone was in there. And one of the boys went up to the window, and like all you see was a fucking gun barrel come out the window and blow his head off. Because that man didn't want no one getting near them, because they didn't want to catch it. That's how people are going to be. They're going, your next door neighbor going to look at you sideways like, man. Oh, this guy just coughed. Like, get away from me. Get away from my house. Because the man might kill my kids or something. That Ebola can really cause a lot of panic in a city like London or a city like New York. People start getting paranoid, man. You start coughing, you know? And then when they say, oh, they're going to have to start quarantining, they're going to feel like it's acceptable. They're going to say, well, we got to do it because
it's the right thing to do.
I don't want to catch Ebola. And when they start shooting people down in the streets, but when it starts happening to them, that's when they cry.
And the quarantines more than likely are going to be race specific, because if the virus is race specific, then obviously they're going to have to quarantine a certain group of people.
But they might not do that.
They might not do that because they're going to quarantine everyone.
But then what that's going to cause is race riots.
Well, the race riots are going to be in the streets.
I believe that the first places it's going to break out is in Hackney as an excuse. Areas where West Africans and like barking in them areas
Well, you
there.
know what this is?
But it will spread out. It will spread. They'll use it to
When uni was, this term for uni was an article saying that there's fears the university lecturers were holding, they're actually holding Ebola awareness in a lot of unis in South England, because basically they were saying there's a lot of Nigerians that are flying in for uni this term, so they're holding a lot of Ebola awareness.
Your brother's saying that's going to cause resentment. You niggas are the ones that brought it
That's
in.
just like when them bombs went off in London in the buses, man. No one weren't trusting these packies, man. We were looking at Indian people,
Sideways.
the black man and the white man, and everybody got together. They're looking at this Indian man on the bus. Looking at him.
What's he up to? What's the bag he's got?
If he even thinks to pull his hand in his pocket, everyone knows. You know?
Ebola's going to be worse.
Them to protect themselves, your white people ain't gonna have no problem with the government mowing down your whole ghetto, sanitizing your whole
Virgin.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it.
Any more in the article?
Is there anything else?
Hey, there's plenty more in the article, man. That article's got. Hey, and that's that. What that martial law is prepared for. Ezekiel 21 and 9. Okay? In the mark of the beast, Revelation the 13th chapter. You ain't gonna be able to buy or sell, because in that time of crisis, they're gonna lock every, like Guy said, oh, how are they gonna go to every store? And there ain't gonna be no stores. When this thing gets put together, there's going to be rationing trucks. When you go back to World War, because there's going to be a World War as well. When you go back to World War II, they gave people ration books. So when you went to the designated store to get the pork or the whatever, you had a booklet and they would rip or stamp it, and then that was your quota. Well, you really think they're going to be handing out people fucking booklets? Now they're going to give you a chip, and on that chip it's going to have, when you scan it, it's going to say, well, this is your quota for the day. 1 loaf of bread.
I am legend, man. When everyone was trying to run to get to the plane, basically they didn't get in until the fucking scanned through, and they got in. Because everyone, but he kind of got away somehow through it. But that's what it's gonna be like, man. If you want to get these, you ain't got what's designated for you to get the food, or whatever, or you ain't getting through. That's just how it's gonna be.
So people go out off their heads, man. Everything going on, because it's like a culmination of a lot of things that happen all at one time, man. And people are just gonna lose their minds, man. There's so much shit that is going on. I mean, the collapse of the economy hasn't even happened yet. You know what I mean? Where it's gonna go absolutely to zero, man. It hasn't happened yet. So as soon as that happens as well, man, it's game over for this place, man.
It says all flights to and from Africa should be banned from entering US airspace.
Food. How much food comes from Africa and Asia and these places? So whether it's via war, because in a world war, food ain't flying nowhere, or whether it's via the Ebola, a place like England, when you go into the store, the oranges are from Spain. The
Oranges from South Africa.
Yeah, South Africa, Ivory Coast,
Raining, man. It gets
Wine.
wine, well, that's not really. But like a lot of the staple goods, they're not from England, man. Think about that. So there's going to be a lack of bread.
I remember when one time they had the foot and mouth disease, man. The beef, and there was a lot of trucks in England dropping dead. There was a lot of fucking things. There's a lot of animals dropping dead in England, man. It's gonna be like that as well, man. It's gonna be like that as well. You know what I'm saying? And when that foot and mouth was going on, no one wanted to eat no food, man. You know what I'm saying?
Diseases spread, man.
Diseases spread. There was shortages of food in that day when that was popping up as well.
Oh, and in them quarantine zones, you're going to get cannibalism as well.
Yeah, I was just about to say that, man. When the scriptures talk about women going to eat their babies.
And it's the perfect way. The Lord talks about the famines, the pestilences. It's the perfect way because it's prophesied of. You had one guy that said to me, "No, I can't see that happening because it's only got a 90% death rate." And I thought, bro, that within itself is a stupid. Exactly.
Only, man.
Exactly.
so far it's like 60% of people are saying, but there's different strains.
Yep.
And I think there's 122 strains.
There's over 100 strains.
Hey, can I read this? Ezekiel 5:16. When I shall send upon them the evil arrows of famine, which shall be for their destruction, and which I will send to destroy you, and I will increase the famine upon you, and I will break your staff of bread.
Through the famine, the Lord's going to break the staff of bread. There will be no more. These supermarkets are going to be empty. They show you in the movies, man, that people are rushing to the supermarkets to grab the food. Just like how everyone's wrestling when the new Xbox comes out. They're like gorillas and hyenas jumping on top of each other to get the new Xbox or the new sneakers or trainers. That's what it's going to be like for that packet of cereals. That's what it's going to be like for those Rice Krispies, man.
And Cocoa Pops.
You know what I'm saying?
And
you know,
like the brother's saying, man. Read that last line again, brother, please.
And will break your staff of, is that what you want?
Yeah.
And will break your staff of bread.
Yeah, your staff of bread. All the shit that most people take for granted, that they have the power to walk down the street, contactless payment, and they walk out with the goods. But when you can't get your goods so easily, you don't even know how to seek food. You're gonna starve, and there's gonna be mass panic. And that's when people start doing things that they don't usually do on an everyday basis. All that mouth talking, all that commentating, that's going to come to an end, man. The Most High is going to seal everybody's mouths in that day.
Yeah, man. And that goes out to them false prophets as well, man.
Yeah.
They can stop talking their shit about the mark of the beast and the RFID chip.
That's when it's going to speak. All these scoffers,
You want to see it.
IUIC, I shouldn't even have mentioned their names. Well, you guys know you are out there on the internet, out there wherever you're at. All you scoffers that are chatting shit about you, all of you that are going to see when there's no food in your markets and all that. Because there was that, you know what, when they did that conference, HODC and them guys were talking, and one of them was saying, well, you know, we're going to have to get some tin cans, brothers. We're going to have to stock some food, you know, because you know what, he's scared. He's one, because all of them guys have got different opinions. And he's one of them guys that think shit is gonna go down. And we need food supplies, we need stocks. But the thing with that is, guys can come in your house and take those stocks that you got.
Oh, but you might be, well, hold on. Imagine if martial law kicked off now.
Yeah.
How are we gonna get back to where we live?
Right.
From leaving from here to going all the way back to where we live. Forget about the scriptures says in them days you gotta be as a pilgrim on the earth. You gotta find someone else's house. Break in. You know? You might have a big stash of food in your basement, but you don't make it back to your basement.
They show you that in the road, man. Show you that in the road, man. Guys will leave their house going hunting, but they'll get killed out there and someone else will find their stash, man. Don't make it back to their stash. Show the kids.
So really it's the Lord, man.
Yeah. And guys in the road will run around to eat each other, man. Straight up cannibalism, man.
And then a lot of you guys that are buying up all that shit with your credit card, just know that you're gonna get visited by some martial law troops. Because your food stash is gonna be confiscated.
Got the next line. It says, instead of protecting America, this administration is sending 3,000 soldiers untrained in dealing with Ebola outbreaks.
Meaning untrained in treating it.
Medical,
because they're not trained to treat it, they're trained to fucking put people that are infected to death. That's what they're there for. They're not there to oh, are you sick? Oh,
we can help you.
You know, no, they're there to infected, boom, gunshot. That's it, no talking.
There's a scripture, if you flee from a lion and a bear met
Amos. Well, I've got it here, man. The scripture said they shall be as madmen. That's the rock. They shall be as madmen, sparing none. But when they see a group of people, they're not going to say that person's not infected. This person, they're going to say, look, man, all them motherfuckers are potentially infected. Stand back. Stand back. Go back to your homes. You don't go back to your home, they're going to open fire. They don't care who's infected and who ain't infected, man. And they show you that in them films. It says, 2 Ezra 16 and 71, they shall be like madmen, sparing none. but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. So you Jakes are gonna get it, man.
They basically, when them army troops and all of that, anytime they're set up to do anything, anytime it's set up as, look, it's a global threat and all of these things, yeah, these guys are doing the job. Like when that Ferguson thing went out, they didn't give a damn. They were saying, look, man, protesters are the enemy. You guys are over that side.
And let one of them protesters shoot at them and see if they don't open fire and every bomb buckle out one of them.
They'll let off on their ass.
They're gonna open up live. Women, they don't care, man.
And it's gonna be worse with Ebola. They're gonna be thinking, fuck that. We need to keep these guys
In.
away, quarantine. These goddamn animals.
So even guys who wouldn't normally do it would do it.
Yep. They're gonna just be like, look, he's trying to destroy America.
Kill them. And they go, hey, them guys get off on busting heads. Veterans especially, them guys that Blackwater, they show you that in Expendables. You had that Banderas character. You know, he was like, look, man, I ain't got nothing else to do. They need to kill people on a daily basis. Otherwise they don't feel like themselves. Right? You got certain military men as that they can't go home and have a dinner with their wife. They want to shoot people, man.
They come off the military and they do private jobs for
because they can't do nothing else.
People in the city, in the main cities, man.
That's Blackwater, That's Blackwater. They don't got nothing. Them guys in the military, a lot of them, they get off on shooting people, man. That's what they're doing in Iraq. Sometimes they just say, you know what, today we're gonna kill some people, man, because I ain't killed nobody in a while. I don't feel like myself. That's what you people are gonna realize, man. They're itching to get the order. Like, okay, open live fire on anyone, and they're gonna have fun popping heads.
And they're tapped too, because when they come home, they do some crimes and get arrested, and then they have to settle back down in normal society, and it's hard. They end up on drugs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When they don't feel like
they don't feel
themselves,
right.
Unless they're killing people, man. 2 Corinthians 15 and 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. Like certain people are going to say, fuck your quarantine. Certain people are going to say, fuck your curfew. And some of them are going to get the upper hand too. They're going to break through. You know, they're going to storm it. You know, they're showing them zombie films. They're going to storm it. A bit overwhelmed, you know.
Remember V for Vendetta?
Yeah.
Every man was in the street and they couldn't do nothing. Like,
well, they were being a bit pussy.
yeah, they were being pussy.
But I'm talking about even World War Z. You know, when they just mans are running at them, man.
That was immense.
Because there's how many people are in bear man run on a checkpoint, you can overwhelm a checkpoint and break through. Well, that's what it says. It says, there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. So David Cameron's going to be like, there's a quarantine, stay in your homes. Some men are going to say, fuck that. I ain't staying in my home and starving to death. You get in my way, Mr. Officer, I'm going to have to take your ass out. You got certain jakes that are going, get their straps together and they're going to start doing shit, man. Throwing stones and all kind of shit. You know? It says, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So even in America, everywhere, they ain't just going to have it easy. There's going to be certain places that they know that they're going to lose the battle.
A lot of them Bible crackers and do things like that as well.
Like Chicago and them areas there, them guys are strapped up, man. It's going to be difficult. Like Texas, that's going to be difficult to quarantine or martial law because them guys have got arsenals. They're going to put up a fucking resistance, man.
yeah, they're ready for a war, man.
But they know that. It's not going to be smooth sailing. It says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able.
That's right. And they're gonna block off the cities, man. That's part of quarantining, man. Blocking off the cities. Shut down. Liverpool, Birmingham, fucking London. And London, this is gonna be. London's gonna be one heck of a bloodbath, man. The population of the people and the congestion of London is going to be one heck of a bloodbath. Ebola, like brother was saying, Ebola, they put that on the London Underground, the whole of London's got that in minutes, man. You know what I'm saying?
It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. Like I said, if your next door neighbor starts coughing at your door, man are probably going to hit him in the head with a mallet.
Snub him.
You ain't gonna be, oh, you're sick. Come in, John. Come in. Man, get away from my fucking door, man.
Snub him out.
Like the purge, man. Don't let them in. Don't let no one in.
Don't let no one in.
Crazy kid let that guy in, man.
Oh, you're hungry? Sorry, John, we ain't got no food for you. Now get the fuck away from my door.
Well, even in them 28 days or weeks later, I watched half of one of them just. And the guy, when it was running, they was trying to do popping in the house, man. They weren't allowing them near them, man.
28
running from them, 28 weeks.
Yeah, later.
Can't. So,
But shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation, man. Desperate people.
So when you can't travel backwards and forwards to Africa and you're stuck here, you need to find someone's house to eat. You ain't gonna have no money. Your travel's expired. You're in a quarantine zone. You've either been shot or you're just starving.
No man's land.
As soon as that hunger, that starvation is serious. Scripture says better to die by the sword than to starve.
Man, so you become a madman. You become desperate, man. You become a zombie, man. You don't give a fuck, man. You running on this. You're desperate, man.
Well, it says they were giving no regards to their kings and princes, isn't it?
Yeah, as far as they're
That's
concerned,
exactly
you're quarantining me in with the sick. If I stay here with the sick people, I'm gonna die.
Exactly.
So I might as well brave
Fight.
the bullets. Might as well fight. Or if I ain't got no food, I ain't gonna sit here and starve. I'm gonna find it, man, where I can. Could be the next door neighbor. Could be no one in the neighborhood's got food, so they gonna come together and go to the next neighborhood.
Hey man, you see like in America when they had the Twin Towers, man. When they see that they knew death was imminent, you see people start jumping out even though they're gonna die. Last resort.
in 2nd Ezra 9, he talks about death by pain, man, and that's an example that when it was in that 9/11 building, that ship that was burning to cinders, burning steel and every blood clot thing, man, I'm dead in there. Them man is jumping out the high stories.
Jumped out with hope.
Pick your death.
He couldn't bear that shit, man. His ass would have melted to cinders. Slowly. So that's what this Ebola thing's like, man. Where the scripture says the Lord is beginning to judge the world which He made, man. Plagues like World War Z. That shit was immense. It was just immense, overwhelming. It's gonna be like that. The immenseness around. You get hordes of people walking past, shopping and all that, commuting out here. It's gonna be the same with this. The people are gonna be plagued, man. You know. People are going to be plagued.
And it ain't going to be like this no more. This street is going to be quiet.
And a lot of these people, like, used to get like the vaccines thing. These people are going to be storming the vaccine centers. They're going to be running to them.
Ran out of vaccine.
No!
Cameras on
Killing each other for the fucking vaccines, man. If they hear that there's like 5 vaccines to 100 people in one center, watch what fucking happens.
Yeah.
These people are hordes,
You beat
man.
the new iPhone 6 craze. All over again. Or Black
When
Friday.
the people are Ebola, they're going to be killing, they're going to be ripping each other's heads off. Scared. You're going to get some niggas like, fuck that, man, I'm getting that vaccine. Dickheads and all
Kill
that.
their mother to get
Yep.
Hey man, everything's coming together and what we're showing you is it's not just Ebola, man. It's everything. World War III. The economy is gonna crash. Look, everything.
Crash.
All hell. All of the plagues of hell are gonna come down in this society, man. It ain't just gonna be one thing like Ebola. No, it's gonna be Ebola, famine, world war, terrorist attacks, everything.
But that's why it's called chaos, man, because there's going to be so much going on. It is going to be absolutely shambles, man.
Confused,
Chaos, man.
People were disturbed from the reports on the news when they saw these terrorists. All you heard in the news was terrorists. They perpetuated that terrorist thought into your head. Now that ain't nothing compared to when it really actually fucking happened. When all these
It ain't just going to be on the,
happened
ain't going to be on the TV, it's going to be on your block.
That's right, it's going to be
You know what
live.
I'm saying? It's going to be on your
live.
fucking block.
Reality TV.
That's the thing with these people out. She said,
Yeah, but it's going to be very, very austere, man. You know?
It's going to get really real.
No math.
Not
Really
even
real,
liquor
man.
is gonna make you feel better than that.
No, man.
When all your screams at night.
Man, you drink that liquor, that shit's going to going to level nowhere, man.
Go
It's going to go straight back out, man. You're going to piss that shit out when you see the fucking stormtroopers come through the door, man.
Hey, because Hey, real talk. There's gonna be screams in the night, screams in the day.
Oh yeah.
Blood curdling,
gunshots,
speed, screams, gunshots. All you're gonna hear is a woman, ah! You know, and you're gonna be, oh shit, like, you know, what the fuck is that, man? You're gonna hear women going, help me!
The law's not gonna exist in that day, man. You know, the police ain't here for law and order, but they're for order.
Resident Evil.
But no, the heart uphold the law, man. Ain't about that in that day, man.
There ain't gonna be no complaints list either.
No, man, they ain't gonna come to your aid.
I had some Edomite demon complain because she couldn't find where the store was, man. And the store wasn't even open yet. I was thinking, that's ridiculous. These people like to complain a lot in the earth, man. But there ain't gonna be no one to complain to. You're just gonna have to suffer.
To EBOLA.
Why have you stricken me?
Or your captors. You get captured, man. And like I say, it's gonna get racial, man. It's gonna get, let's hit on that point. It's gonna get racial like a motherfucker, man. Because mans are gonna group up naturally. Mans are gonna group up on this thing.
And they're gonna look at who they have as a common enemy, man. That's why the scripture says there's nothing new in this world.
And you Asians, you think you're so sick, think you're bad boys. You don't want to see niggas in the dark. You gonna bitch up, man.
Hungry niggas,
All
man.
you other nations are gonna bitch up, man. When Jake get hold of your ass here in the streets of London, man. Thinking you're gangsters because you got a Honda Civic and you play Movado in your car. You think you know something about badness, man. You scared of niggas, man. And then that day there ain't gonna be no lights. We gonna find out whether you really is gangster in that day, man. Cause Jacob gonna come for you fucking heathens, man. Jacob gonna come out, break through areas, man, and they gonna go into your area, man. You Asians in Ilford thinking you're bad boys. Jacob gonna run through Ilford, man. Pull your Marjay out of the damn house, man, and bust her fucking skull open, man. And rape your sister.
Hey man, look at this.
They gonna rape Sundeepa. And Sanita gonna get raped.
Hey, look at it this way, man. The more you got, the more you're a target, man. You know, you proud as hell for all that shit you got. Man, you ain't gonna be proud on that day. You know?
Jake are the underdogs, man.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
We're
We're the ones who, listen, man, them Arabs are rolling around in expensive fucking BMWs and shit. Got their temples and all that, got their women to their disposal. You know, the women might be sluts, but yeah, they got shit. You know, on a certain level, they're like taskmasters, and we're just like the straight up slaves, man. They're like the
But they can only operate in their world.
That's right. Alright, bro. Yeah, man.
They can only operate like that faggot that was up here today. What the fuck is that faggot gonna do when all hell breaks loose,
Yeah,
man? You imagine a faggot like that? That dude's gonna be hiding in a cupboard, man. That dude ain't gonna hear screams in the night, and he's gonna hide.
That nigga had puss-filled zips all up in his face, sperm all up in his face. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of you Edomites
dirty
that
deposits.
you're not
all
in the
seeping
know.
out of his fucking.
A lot of you Edomites that ain't in the know, like the elites ain't gonna take you to no bunker nowhere to protect you. Yeah, the super elites, they've been building compounds in Costa Rica with armed personal guards and motherfucking electric fences and turret guns, and they already know what time it is, man. They're ready. But you got these rich Edomites that really ain't on that. They're busy drinking champagne and living in Chigwell and areas like that. They ain't got no armed guards. They ain't even got a gun. You know, they just driving their Lamborghini around, you know, having a good time. When all hell breaks loose, they're gonna be left out there, man. They're gonna be left out there, man. And Jake's they're gonna be in their house like, honey, what do we do? And all this, and then all you're gonna hear is, oh. And then Jake's coming with your ass, man.
Panic will ensue by the third day. The panic portion of this phase will begin as individuals stop showing up for work.
Hey, I'll be one of them guys. I ain't going to work. You ain't turned up for work, man. When it first comes out, that there's like 5-6 people infected with Ebola, then it turns to 10-15. People start thinking twice about going to work in Miss Selvages, man.
Going out.
going out.
Getting a train.
Oh shit, the bus.
That's terrible, man.
Especially if it's flu season,
Yeah.
and everyone. And another thing they were saying about Ebola is it causes people to cough in Africa, but it's warm there. So they said it's going to be even more contagious in a winter condition. It's going to make people cough. So guys going to be on the bus, and people going to be like, oh shit, man, I ain't getting on the bus. Because even in flu season, you don't want to get on the bus, motherfucker, on there, because they make it where if you're sick, you don't get paid, so, and people need money. So people go to work sick. The children go to school sick. So people are going to be pulling their children out of school.
Sorry, bro. And they even said they're gonna make
You gotta come close.
sorry, the tube is gonna run 24 hours, yeah? London Underground, but it's in September 2015. Flu season. Around this time, September, October, November, flu jabs start coming out. Hopefully we're not there till then, because fuck that shit.
Sounds like a long way away from
It's
me.
a long way away. But if we
Who
do
knows?
get there, you know what I mean? That's another way to
Transport that disease about,
When
man.
all these things happen, and that's when all the game playing stops, man.
Yeah, man, all this
That's when all the fucking, all this bullshit, this big circus of a fucking kingdom, Esau's fucking calling the fucking kingdom, all this fucking game playing stops then. Yeah? All this hoeing, all this promiscuity, all this looseness, all this disorder, it all stops. It's all gonna stop. And that's how when the Lord visited the empire, he did it, he made it known, he made you go on with all the wickedness, till that judgment was set. He said the prophets, Jeremiah 28:8, they prophesied of what was to come. And then when that judgment was coming, there was no stopping it, man. There was no stopping it. Once this Ebola thing and all these World War III and all that, when this has already started. It's already fucking
And
started.
I ain't gonna stop.
Ain't no stopping.
And this is a train set on one course, man. It ain't making no
soulful
fucking
brothers
stops,
out
man.
here, man.
Second Ezra 16 and 5. Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? May any man drive away an hungry lion in the wood, or may anyone quench the fire in stubble when it hath begun to burn?
Yeah, like when you get a house fire, once that shit really starts to light, you gotta get in the fire brigade. Because there ain't no little fire, little bucket of water you're doing to take that shit out. It's that concept, that's the deal. A hungry lion, when a lion set on that ass, you know, that lion's that's just tearing that ass up. He's on that ass.
Let me jump straight to the point. Behold, 14, behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth.
That's it, and you got the angels on holding the instructions, holding them, and them instructions are rabid Rottweilers, man. Huh? Like them motherfuckers in I Am Legend, man, that was in the dark waiting for my man. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's like, man, because them angels are terrible. The angels are ministers of fire, man. Them angels are terrible, man. Them angels ain't playing. So when these match instructions come on, you're really gonna know about terrors. You're really gonna know about power.
Yeah, like that faggot that was up there today, he thought everything was a joke.
Yeah.
But in that day, he's gonna have a loose colon, man.
He won't be screaming.
He'll be shit.
Like when his legs are parted like the fucking Red Sea. Yeah,
He's gonna be screaming like a bitch.
that's how
Hey,
it's
because
going.
it's gonna be real. It's not gonna be something that's happening over there. It's gonna be happening to you.
your
Like
face.
your mother is dead, your father is dead, your sister is dead,
You are dying.
your cousin is dead. You saw them die. You ran. It's gonna be real. Oh my God, is this really happening? You had plans, man. You wanted to go watch a football game with your brother next week, man. He's dead.
Hey, bro. Will Smith, I Am Legend.
Dead. Dead.
You know, that's exactly what he's gonna know.
It's gonna be a harsh reality. A lot of people are gonna be so traumatized. They might just not move. They might just be.
Hey,
You might
they're
see
gonna-
man just standing in
They're
the
gonna
street
have
like
that.
this.
What's that syndrome? That thing what they have after war when it just.
Yeah, shell shock
You know,
and shit.
that's what they're gonna have, man.
They're gonna be so
Shell shock.
shocked, man. They're gonna be like, damn, like look, these people don't believe that this is gonna happen, man. And it's gonna happen suddenly,
All
man.
in a moment, everything can come crashing
In a
down,
moment,
man.
man.
Hey, all you gotta do is look at how many people take that tablet for depression. Just for minor things, just to get a house, they'll take a depression tablet. You know? Then these people ain't gonna have no depression tablets, man. They're just gonna bug out.
But because they're not gonna understand why it's happening. They didn't know it was gonna happen. See, us, man, even some of them truthers, they're gonna be a bit more, because they were like, yes, I knew it was gonna happen. I've been preparing for this. Like us, man, we already done. No, to us, it's already happened. It's not a matter of.
The scripture says they're going to be in a pitiful case, man. They're going to be in a pitiful case.
All fucked up and shit. Dirty, stinking. You ain't got no toilet paper. You ain't gonna have no water to wash your ass. You ain't gonna use the water from the toilet bowl to wash your ass. You're gonna be drinking that water in the damn toilet bowl. First you're gonna drink the water that's in the
Basin,
the top bit, and then when that runs out, you can't really bleed radiator taps. You're gonna drink the toilet water before you drink water out the radiator. Trust me, that radiator water is just rust. That's just straight brown rust. So you're gonna drink the water out of the damn toilet. You ain't gonna take the risk of going outside and drinking out no puddle. Motherfuckers see you out there, they can take you out, man.
Yeah, that's terrible, man.
You know? Hey, so many films, man. I'm watching all these films lately, man. Resident Evil. Watch Resident Evil, man. When they were on the news, like, people are going crazy. They're doing this, doing that, and then cops are out there just holding out, man. People are holding out here and there, like. It's gonna be beautiful carnage.
Personal vacations and business trips will be cancelled. Sales of survival gear and most of all firearms and ammunition will skyrocket until the government suspends these activities.
Yeah, people look at the candles are gonna disappear. Anything to do with survival, bottled water, all that's gonna disappear. Like, people are gonna panic. A guy ain't even got nowhere to carry them, and he's just gonna be. Yeah, you ever see Supermarket Sweep? That's what people are gonna do.
Challenges on.
You know, you gonna see a guy coming out with 3 trolleys of bottled water, man. Don't even know where to take them. Guys are gonna be going through the back way, rolling out pallets. The people that work there, they're gonna be pulling out pallets, man. You know, back in work, man, they won't give a fuck. Man, fuck this, man. Yo, cuz, we're taking this pallet of water right here. You're gonna see guys going down the street with a pallet like that.
Get home with